Hey there everyone, what's up? Today we are doing another gaming video, but totally different type of gaming. This is going to be a new series I'm going to be doing just to, you know, switch things up a little. Of course, if you're not interested, don't watch. It's all right. This is going to be, um, I'm going to call this series Warhammer 40K from Zero to Hero. And that means essentially, I'm going to make this video to explain the series. First off, I used to play Warhammer Fantasy Battles and Warhammer 40K when I was in high school. Uh, so, more than 20 years ago. And yeah, I think I want to say I started almost 24 years ago was the first time I played Warhammer. So at some point when I was in junior high, actually. Um, maybe. Yeah, probably that. But I started playing Warhammer Fantasy Battles, and eventually I started also playing Warhammer 40K. But I've always preferred Warhammer Fantasy Battles. I had a lot more miniatures for that, and I painted a lot more for that. And there weren't a ton of armies I was really interested in for 40K. They were all, Eldar or various Space Marines or Chaos or Tyranids. That was kind of it for Warhammer 40K Second Edition. There were squats, I think, also, which were like Space Dwarves. But um, so 40K was always a kind of game that I didn't play that often. I mean, I when we played, it was always my friend wanted to play Space Marines, and I always played Tyranids. I like Tyranids. It's fun. It's a fun game, but regular fantasy battles, which the last edition I played was probably fourth edition. It was like the first edition that had army books, if you can imagine. Like now everything has an army book, but Warhammer 40K fourth edition was the last edition I played. Not 40K, but Warhammer Fantasy Battle 4th edition, and Warhammer 40K second edition was the last edition I played. And so it's been about 21 years, maybe 20 years since I've played Warhammer or Warhammer 40K. The people I played with didn't play anymore. One of them died. It's kind of thing where there wasn't a lot of stuff we could to do with it anymore. So it's been a long time. And this video is actually about me. The series altogether is going to be about me playing Warhammer 40K again after a 20-year break and how different it is. And I want to say I chose Warhammer 40K this time because I went to the local Games Workshop store, and I think there's only two in all of Japan. But I've been to both of them. They're both in Tokyo, and um, I went to the store with the intention of looking at fantasy battles to see what I could do for that. And I was thinking like, oh well, I used to use Skaven, and I used to use Undead, and I used to use Chaos Slanesh, and going to the store, I realized some things right away. Skaven have not changed that much. They're pretty much the same, except the cost of of models of miniatures has gone way up. So getting into Skaven right away, too expensive. I can't justify it. Like you need to buy so much for Skaven. So Skaven was out, and then I thought, well, I'll look at Undead, but Undead is no more. There's no more Undead army. It's split into two. There's Tomb Kings and Vampire Counts. Um, not exactly what I wanted to do. I would if I were to play now, I would play as Tomb Kings, but um, I thought like there weren't enough models actually at the shop, and they didn't have the book, and I was kind of like, oh well, I guess I could order it online, but eh, I kind of wanted to look at it before I bought it. So I dropped to that one, and then I thought, well, Slanesh, I can always use Chaos, but um, they've changed Chaos too, where it's split between Chaos and Chaos Demons and Chaos Warriors. It wasn't like that before in fourth edition anyway. So, or third edition. I mean, third edition is where I started with Warhammer, but fourth edition was the latest one I played. And but fourth edition didn't have a split between those. You just had an army that was split between them. And I thought like, well, I could play Chaos and just Chaos Demons and just use them both for 40k and for fantasy battles, and that would save me the trouble. And then I thought like, I'll just look at 40k. So, and I had gone into it thinking like, well, I could use both, so I'll start a Chaos army and be able to play 40k. So I'll look at 40k and see what's up. And when I started looking at 40k, I realized like it's way different. There are a lot more armies that were definitely not there before. There's Tau and Necrons, and just there's no more squats. Um, they they changed a lot of stuff. There are a lot more armies, and I think upon looking at it, I found a bunch of armies that I was like, wow, Tyranids are really different looking. Their colors are all different. They're the main units are really different. So Tyranids were really different, and I thought, oh well, I like Tyranids. So I bought the Tyranids book, and I bought the Chaos Demons book, and I was thinking of maybe I'll play Necrons, but I didn't. I ended up not getting the Necrons book, and then I found some other books. Um, Adeptus Mechanicus is a new army, so I looked through all the books, and I picked up three books: Tyranids, Chaos Demons, and Cult Mechanicus. And from those, I've read through the books, looked at the rules, and the rules are slightly different. There are a lot more modifiers and things than there were before. So there's a lot more to remember, but generally it's the same. Um, but the army lists are really different. So upon looking at this stuff, and I watched some videos, like some reviews of the army lists and things on YouTube, and I thought, well, a lot of people are saying like Cult Mechanicus is really new, like it came out just recently, like a couple months ago maybe, and a lot of people there's not a lot of people playing it. There's not a lot of people who have those armies, and a lot of people are saying like the rules are different for them. Like they have a lot of different rules that nobody else has, so nobody's really used to them. And I thought, well, since I haven't played in 20 years, and I'm not used to the rules myself, playing a Cult Mechanicus army would be perfect for me because nobody knows the rules that well for it because it's so new. And from there, I thought, well, all right, the Cult Mechanicus looks awesome. All the models look awesome. There's not a ton of them right now, but kind of decided to go all in on Cult Mechanicus. There's also Skitari, which is connected to Cult Mechanicus as Adeptus Mechanicus as the units, but I'm actually just gonna do it really simple, all Cult Mechanicus. There's not a lot of units, and they're relatively high point cost, so it'll keep my initial investment into miniatures lower than it could be with something more expensive. If I want to use for Skaven, for example, or orcs, or something where the point costs are relatively low, Space Marines even, um, in comparison, where you don't have a lot of things to blow points on without having to buy a million miniatures. So that's how I decided. I've decided I'm going to play 40k, and I'm going to play as Cult Mechanicus. So this is the first video in this series to think of it as number zero, where I'm just explaining the series and telling you what is going to happen. So beyond that, I'm starting from zero. So the next video will actually be the first the first miniatures I bought for my army. I've made my army already. I made a 2,000 point army just um, when we normally played, again, 20 years ago. We always had 2,000 point armies. So, people probably play various ranges, but I figured 2,000 is kind of a common number. So, having a 2,000 point army will be enough to play a 2,000 point game and to have various models for lower point battles, I guess. And then in the future, if someone is crazy and wants to play at 3,000 points and spend their entire day playing, then it's possible. But yeah, so 2,000 point army, Cult Mechanicus, and that's it. The next video will be the start of my army. So I'll show you what I got for my first units, and I'll paint them up. So I'll show you the painting process, the putting together process, I guess. Not all. I'm not gonna obviously show every part. I'll just show brief updates until the models are done. But yeah, that will be this series, Warhammer 40K. I'm going from 0, meaning I have nothing, nothing, to hopefully hero, where I play some matches and win. That's about it. So if you're interested, this is a new series that'll be on my channel, and check it out. So see you guys next time.